Happy summer. Welcome to the summer movie magic. Summer movie madness. You're going to practice until you're mad, or at least crazy. Let's begin. How the West Was Won. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, on that song, we're in the key of F, really concentrate on the accents. And there are a couple places where you can lift your bow. You're going to need to lift your bow. So I hope you followed those. It's every line should begin down bow. So after lines 2, you're going to need to lift your bow. And notice the last measure, we're going to go... We're going to end up bow, slur those last 2 notes and lift the bow. Alright? So, I hope those of you auditioning for the solo on that song got a little bit of an idea of how that goes. The harmony parts are, I think, fairly simple. I won't go over them. Let's go right to Batman theme. So I want everyone to play line 1 until we get to measure 25, and then we will divide. You'll either play line 1 or line 3. Alright. Batman. 2 flats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I played line 1 at 25. Here's line 3 starting at measure 25. Put those together. I think it will sound good. So the thing in this song to look out for is every entrance is down bow, except measure 9, you need to start up bow, and also measure 16, start up bow. Be aware of the flats in measure 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In measure 7, you have an A flat. That note, a low fourth finger, that's the one to get. Now that's the same fingering that you'll use at measure 25. If you're playing line 1, it's just slower speed. Same fingering. That's going to be a low fourth finger on the A string. Now look at measure 10. Those 4 measures are rather challenging. So I'll play it slowly for you, starting at measure 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in measure 10 you have a D flat, which is a low third finger. In measure 11 you have a G flat, which will be played with a low second finger. And then the next measure, that D flat again. And then the next measure, open E, C natural, open A, and then E. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Let's move on to Cantina Band. One, two, three, four. Did I make a mistake? Disregard that first performance. Let's start it again. I made a mistake in the third measure of the second line. So I told you in this song to erase the slurs, but leave the ties. So get rid of the slurs, leave the ties. And the fingering I want you to use, in the second measure you have a G sharp. Use a low fourth finger to play that. Also, the second line, second measure, there it is again. Use a low fourth finger. Third line, second measure, there it is again. Use a low fourth finger to play that. And then the fourth line in the third measure, use that low fourth finger for E flat and G sharp. So each of those measures where you have, so measure 2, low 4 for G sharp, and then go back to open A. Then the second line, second measure, same thing. Third line, second measure, same thing. And then the fourth line, third measure, you're going to play low 4 for E flat, third finger for D, low 4 for A sharp, then open A, and then that's how it will sound. Let's do that song again. A little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the Imperial March. We went over some fingerings today in class. I'll play it and then we'll go through it again with the fingerings. 1, 2, 3, 4. repeat this piece. First of all, note the bowings. There's going to be a lift at the end of each line. You have to lift the bow to start down bow again. Also, I want to include the slurs, or hooked bows actually is how we're going to play them, usually on the fourth beat of several of the measures. Alright, so how to set up your hand. We have one flat in the key signature, but there are a lot of what we call accidentals. And we are going to play a lot of those accidentals, what we call enharmonically, using playing a flat like a sharp, or playing a sharp and thinking of it as a flat. So set up your hand. We're going to start on an open D, but for both violin and cello the fingering is the same. You're going to use a low second finger on both strings for the B flat and for the D. So you have open D, now low second finger, and another low second finger. That's the fingering. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift the next measure. A low 1 on the A string, low 2, and then you're going to use a low fourth finger for D flat on the G string. Gives you that pitch. Try that one again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift. Now here's the real interesting part. Your fingering is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, open, 2, open. So if you want to be able to play this, this is very challenging. The only way to get it is to practice slowly. So I suggest you take out the rhythm and play only the notes with the correct fingering. Much of this moves in half steps. So if you can hear the half steps, that's the most important interval to learn on your instrument. Also, you'll notice you're going to be playing 3 pitches with the same finger. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. You're moving that third finger that many times. Cello, I know you have another fingering, but you're going to play that fingering 3 times, because you actually can move the same finger very accurately over a series of notes without having to pick it up. And then by the time you get down here, you're in half position. By the time you get to the B natural, you're going to play that with a low 2. You are in what we call half position. So I'm going to play each note separately. I'm going to make each note a half note and see if you can match pitch with me. Starting from measure 5, very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me start again. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. So pause your tape, rewind it, go through that 10 times a day. and then you'll be able to play it at speed. Try a little faster. You can do that. You can do that. Just practice it very slowly and follow that fingering. Now, James Bond theme. Again, watch the fingering. Some of the things we are doing, starting in measure 5, we're playing the melody 1 octave lower. So you'll be starting on an open D. Also, we are taking out the slurs, but leaving the ties. So take out all slurs, but leave the ties. And we're going to change the ending. So I'll show you that when we get there. Also, we're going to repeat from measure 5. We're going to play to the bottom of the page, and we're going to go back to measure 5 again. So that's the way I'll play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, repeat, and. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat that section. 'Did. So we're going to repeat 5 to the bottom of the page. We're going to repeat from measure 15 to measure 22. That section we will repeat. And I changed the ending. I hope you caught that. I'll show you what that looks like. Alright. So fingering. Look at the first measure of the bottom line. First measure of the 4th line of music. This is actually, I'm sorry. Look at the last measure of the 3rd line of music. That's a chromatic fingering. You're going to play F, E, E flat, open. Slide your finger back. Now your hand is going to feel like it's in a slightly lower position, and that's good because you're going to play the C sharp like a D flat with a low 3rd finger. That's what I mean by enharmonic fingering. If you take anything from this class, you've learned that. You can play sometimes a C sharp like a D flat a low third finger to the C, then I would play open, 3, open. So, those two measures. Now, starting at the top line of page 19, we're going to use those inharmonic fingerings again. You're going to use a third finger, a low third finger to play the C sharp, and you're going to use a low fourth finger to play the G sharp, like we did in the Cantina band. So, those notes. I'll go over that slowly again. D, F, a low third finger for the C sharp, then C natural, then F, then a low fourth finger for the G sharp, and then open A. Sounds like this. Do that again. Then go to the E string, a low first finger. Open. Again. Then you come back to this. Then here you finally get to play a C sharp with the second finger. Now, starting in measure 23, I want you to do something different. I want you to play this in third position. Third position is where normally I play the note D with my third finger. I'm going to move my hand up. So I'm playing that note with my first finger. We call that third position. So see if you can find that pitch. Cello, you will also use your first finger. Your fingerings you're going to use cello will be 1, 3, 4. Everyone else, violins, you're going to play 1, 2, 3. These fingers will be close together. D, E, and F natural. And we're going to do the separate bows, and we're going to swing this rhythm at 23. Now stay there in position. Move your first finger over to the E string. Put down your first finger. I'm changing the notes. So this is what you're going to play. A, rest. A, rest. A. That's the rhythm. That's all it is. So put the first finger on the E string. You're in third position. It looks like this. You can freeze frame it. I've rewritten it. Get a closer look. Look at how I wrote that. Alright? That's it. It's going to sound great. So we probably will do it something like that, although I could change my mind on the arrangement and the order that we might do it. It's so much fun. We might have to do just everything twice. One more time from measure 23. That's it. Thank you very much, and please practice.